What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Carpenters Apprentice. We have with us today, great friend of the show, Memo Velasquez. Sir, welcome to the Carpenters Apprentice.
Thank you very much for having me.
Please have a seat. Sir, why don't we have a conversation? One of the things I'm very interested in that you're up to is I know that you have an epilepsy group. I believe it's a support group, but can you tell the folks who you are and what you're involved with?
Well, my name is Memo Velasquez, and what I do is I have epilepsy sports group throughout San Antonio, Austin area. It's called Live, Love, Be Seizure Free. I've been doing it, I would say, for the past 15 years. I was diagnosed when I was about 25 years ago when I was 15 years old with grand mal seizures. And so ever since then, I've been trying to figure out alternatives to my medications, because sometimes the medications are just as worse as our condition. And so the side effects, the things that are causing our memory losses, things like that. So I've sort of looked into cannabis as an alternative, not to substitute, but to help with the side effects of our medication.
And how have you found it in terms of effectiveness so far?
Well, it's helped me with the side effects of my medication. I can now sleep, and it's helped with my anxiety, my panic attacks, and it's helped my memory, because a few years ago, my memory was shot, but now since I've been taking the CBD oils and the cannabis, it's actually helped increase my memory and it's been a blessing in disguise.
Have you been able to cut down on the number of medications you're taking daily?
No, not yet. I haven't gotten to the point where I can take one medication off and just use CBD as a substitute. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm looking to get to that point.
Okay, and so in getting to that point, what are some of the steps that you're having to take in order to go onto like a more CBD-friendly route?
Well, what I have to do is I think I also have to change my diet as well, eat better, but I haven't gotten to the point yet where I've become an expert on the CBD use. I've talked to friends how they're using it in different cities, like in Denver, in Colorado, those areas, and they're using a higher dosage than I'm using. But soon, hopefully, with more education, I'll be able to use CBD oil and to help wean off my medication.
Well, that would be fantastic. So right now, because it's I know it's not new, in terms of how long it's been here in the world, but in terms of being legal and having prohibition ended in some places, it's fairly new. So is it hard to find concrete medical research that you could use to guide what you're going to do?
You can find concrete medical research if you go to my belief is if you go to certain companies like CW Hemp, I would also say Gentleman's Vapes. A lot of those companies, they have, let me tell you about this one, Realm of Caring. If people are looking for concrete solutions, Realm of Caring is one of the places you need to find online, because they will help you and guide you on what type of medication, CBD oil you need to use, and what milligrams you need to use for your condition. It's a lot of doctors and nurses there that are a great resource that I've used several times to help me on my journey with CBD oil.
What does it feel like to have to operate as an outlaw in some sense to do some of these different CBD things?
Well, it's not, you look over your shoulder, but people still don't know what CBD oil is. They look at it, it looks like olive oil most of the time. So, if you get pulled over and a cop looks at it, they don't really know, there's no test for it. So, having it on, I have it on my person as much as I possibly can, or I have a vape as much as I possibly can on me to help with those panic attacks, or as I have PTSD due to my seizures. But I don't feel like I'm an outlaw. I'm feeling more like this is something that I need and a lot of people need so that they can live, I would say, quote unquote, a normal life.
Yeah, and I don't mean to characterize you as an outlaw, but my thinking was more, it seems troubling that the government would force you into a position where you even have to have any kind of worry, because it's something, like you said, that you need to live. That never gets frustrating to you?
Not really, because I don't get frustrated because I haven't gotten to the point where I'm because I don't smoke the bud. I just take the oil or the vapes that I have. And I haven't gotten to the point where if I don't have it, there's no way for me not to get it, because I've gotten it from multiple companies that, again, most of it, you can ship it in all 50 states. It's legal to ship in 50 states. The police really haven't gotten to the point where they don't know how to really arrest you if you have it, things like that. So it's still kind of up, it's like a lot of gray area there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, I wouldn't be considered an outlaw, but I'm more of look at it as a pioneer in taking that next step in our journey in our medication.
Wow, you know what? That's a much better way to phrase it. I think that's a much better way to phrase that. Okay, so one of the questions I would have for you is, I don't have epilepsy. So what has that been like for you, and what's the greatest lesson you've learned through your journeys with this?
Well, with epilepsy, I've learned that it's actually been a good thing for me, because I've learned you can't be scared in life, because with epilepsy, one seizure and that could be it. You can be dead, because there's sudden unexpected death by epilepsy. With seizures, some people stop breathing. I stopped breathing for at least 1 to 2 minutes. And the last seizure I had, my wife looked at me and said, your face turned blue, your lips turned blue. You almost didn't come out of that one. And it scared her half to death. And with me, it scared me when she told me. And then she said, you just took that deep breath. It sounded like it sounded like you were just coming back from the dead. And then you came out of it and you were fine. But the way you looked it looked like you were dead already. And it was totally and utterly, it scared her half to death, which, I mean, if I were watching something like that, I'd totally understand.
Yeah.
But it's through this 25-year journey, I have met great people. I wouldn't trade having epilepsy for anything, because of the people I've met and the stories I've heard. I've seen the good in epilepsy, and I've seen the bad in epilepsy. And some people, they can take it day by day, but some people, on the other hand, it's too much. And I've seen where people just couldn't take it anymore, and of course they had to end their lives because of it. But I've seen where people are just so strong, and I've met so many strong people out there who have kids, who have families, and they're living an everyday life. It's one thing to live with this condition, it's another thing to talk about this condition. Because a lot of people don't want to talk about it. They just want to keep it away, put it in the closet, and never talk about it again. And I'm not that person. I'm that person that will talk about it 24/7.
Well, sir, we're so glad that you are talking about it, because really, man, this is something that I think folks need to know about, because even you don't even have the opportunity to have this kind of exposure and conversation, dialogue with folks. So I appreciate you coming out here. I appreciate you clearing some things up, and I appreciate you talking about cannabis with us.
I appreciate that.
You guys, we'll see you next time.